Hi everyone, want to welcome you to this week's episode of the Lesson in 5. Lesson in 5 is a weekly program where we summarize the Sabbath School Lesson into 5 main points. If you're new around here, make sure you subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our future videos. Sabbath School Lesson for this week is a leadership crisis. We all want to have leaders that we have confidence in. Confucius singled out confidence of the common people as the single most important thing for a leader to have. We need to have leaders who inspire our confidence. In Israel, we'll examine the leadership crisis that took place in the days of Uzziah. The king is dead. Isaiah chapter 6 opens with the death of King Uzziah. Uzziah had been a good king for many years, but he made one horrible mistake. He got proud and he tried to offer incense in the temple, and the Lord struck him immediately with leprosy. In his attempt to raise himself up, he was humbled. This is in sharp contrast to what Uzziah does. He goes into the temple and he realizes that he is unclean, and the Lord cleanses him. The two become a study in contrast. Holy, holy, holy. When King Uzziah dies, Isaiah sees a vision of the Lord seated on his throne, and the train of his robe fills the temple. This image of the Lord being in his temple becomes crucial for our understanding of this passage. Why? Because the temple was right there in Jerusalem. So this signifies the presence of God with his people. God being present and God being on his throne signifies not just his presence, but the fact that God is in control. Regardless of what we are going through here on earth, God is in control. As we go into this new year 2021, we ought to know that God is in control. New personality. Isaiah quickly realizes that he's got unclean lips. This wasn't just saying that what he says is unclean, but rather the lips signified his entire person. Isaiah notices his uncleanness before God, and as a solution, a live coal is placed on his lips, symbolizing the purifying power of fire. Isaiah is completely transformed and changed by that coal of fire that burns up his lips, that brings up a new person in him. God wants to do the same thing. God wants to purify us, figuratively speaking, with fire. Royal commission. Isaiah finds comfort from the Lord in the temple, the place where God is present, where God says, "Let them build me a sanctuary that I may dwell among them." When Isaiah has found this comfort in the presence of the Lord, then Isaiah is commissioned to go out and perform the work that God has called him to do. The temple of the Lord, or the presence of the Lord, is a comforting place. That is the place where we find rest and comfort in the Lord. An appalling appeal. God calls Isaiah to speak to the people, but then he tells him, make their ears dull so they don't hear and their eyes dim so they don't see. What is God really saying here? God is predicting what's going to happen. God tells Isaiah that you're going to go to the people, you're going to give them a message, but as you appeal to them, their ears are going to become dull. Many times when God speaks, people's hearts become harder because they continue to resist his will. But this doesn't make God stop appealing. Because of his love, God continues to appeal to his people again and again. This helps to put into perspective the times we read that God hardened Pharaoh's heart. Doesn't mean that God actually made his heart harder, but it means that God kept on appealing. As God continued to appeal to Pharaoh because of his love, because of God's love, Pharaoh dimmed his ears to God. Pharaoh hardened his heart, but God kept on appealing. This means that our God is a God who continues to appeal to his people. If God is appealing to you, do not harden your heart. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the lesson in 5. If you've enjoyed this video, remember to share, like, and subscribe. Also put in a comment. Those comments really help to keep me going. Also help YouTube to know that this is a good video. Thank you very much. Until next week, God bless you all.